Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm going to be talking about my bird Kiwi, obviously. I've been asked a lot of questions about what I find to be important when getting a bird or bringing a bird home. And this is kind of fresh in my mind right now because I am getting another conure at the beginning of May. So I have kind of like a more structured idea of what I've planned for her to come home. But it's pretty much the same setup that Kiwi has here. They just took me 2 years to get and figure out and, you know, do research and learn about them. So I just wanted to do a quick little video about this. And I'm going to show you guys a little bit closer up to her cage and her stuff that she does. The first thing I think is you need to make sure you have space. Birds are generally, most of them are, you know, pretty small birds unless you get like a big macaw or even African grade. But they need space. If you think about it, birds in the wild, they forage for food. They, she's playing with her toy. They forage for food. They fly. They're very active. So they need a lot of space and they need a lot of stuff to keep them entertained. Kiwi is very active. She moves around a lot. She plays a lot. She flies. She's never really still. This is her 24/7 all the time. So you need to make sure that you have the space, first of all, for your bird. The next thing I would start thinking about is, do you actually have time? A lot of people assume because the bird is in a cage, you can just lock it up and leave it there. And that's not true. Birds are flock animals. They want to be part of your family. They should be part of your family. They should be included in a lot of activities that you do with your family. Another thing is if you want to have your bird caged, or what they call cage-free birds, where they only go in a cage at night to sleep, or some birds don't even do that. Some birds sleep on a perch at night. So that's another thing, and that I would only suggest for people who are stay-at-home parents, work from home, are home, you know, I would say 90% of the time. You don't want your bird to be not locked up somewhere, because there's a lot of stuff that they can get into. There's cords they can bite and get electrocuted. They can get stuck in small places. They can fall and get hurt, you know, if they're not fully flighted. So that's something that you have to think about too. Another thing is, would you want your bird flighted, or are you going to clip their wings? My personal view on this is birds, they're birds. They fly. They're meant to fly. So why would I cut her wings when, you know, it's like, and I know it's not like a legit comparison, obviously, but it's like cutting off, you know, our legs. We can't go anywhere without our legs. That's what lets us move around. That's what lets us be free. And I figure that's the same thing for birds. So Kiwi is fully flighted. She can fly around the house. But obviously, if you're going to do this, you need to also make sure that you don't have fans on, that toilet seats are down, that there's nothing that the bird can harm itself with. Okay. So those are just a few things to think about beforehand. Next, I would say would be the cage. This is Kiwi's cage. It is the HQ Victorian open top bird cage, and it comes with the stand that's right there. And when I bought this almost 2 years ago, I paid, I think it was between $175 to $200. I think they're a little bit more pricey now. I do have a link for them down below. I did recently get one for my new bird, and well, actually it was a couple months ago. And I'm not really sure exactly how much I paid for it, but I do have a link for it down below. And I believe it's around $200, $225-ish now. So that I'll have that link if you guys are interested in this specific cage. I absolutely love it. And I would suggest this cage for smaller birds. Conures, cockatiels, even budgies, like, you know, parakeets. They, you know, it would be a good size cage for them. It would be like a little mansion. But that's another thing. Depending on the size of the bird, depends on the size of the cage. Rule of thumb is the bigger the better. The biggest you can go, the better it is. Something that you should pay attention to, though, with when you are selecting a cage is, can the bird get out of the cage by itself? A lot of birds are really smart and they can figure out things, but this one has like a secure lock where Kiwi can't get to it from the inside. So you want to make sure that that's available like that. And I want to see if I can get this picture. And this is like the food tray, food and water. It has like a little flap that she can't get to either, so she can't try to open it and get out this way. What else? That's basically it. If I would have known what I know now about cages, I might have tried and gotten a bigger cage for her, but for now this one fits. It fits in the space that I had available. I liked it. It was pretty. It's clean. There's no issues with it, so I really like this cage. And obviously I got another one for my other bird. Okay, so that's that. The next thing is purchase. As you can see, Kiwi has rope purchase in her cage, and she has one wooden purchase that came with the cage. I've heard a lot of people, and I've read a lot of papers and done a lot of research on the fact that those aren't really good for your bird. You can get these natural wooden purchase that I have up here, and they come in different sizes and different types of wood, so you want to make sure that they're also bird safe. But I prefer the rope purchase. Kiwi really likes them, and I have them in different sizes. Here, let me show you. I have them because you want to get different size purchase, different lengths, different, you know, everything, widths or whatever, just because birds can get arthritis if they're on the same size perch all the time. So when when you start buying stuff for your bird, you want to make sure to have different size perches. Like I have this large one, and Kiwi does tear them apart, so I buy new ones. I would say I replace these every couple months. My husband said that she likes them like this, kind of tore up. They probably feel a little bit better than if they're just straight, like new, kind of like this one up here. If you can see it. But yeah, she rips these up, and you have to be careful too. You don't want your bird to get caught, their legs, or if they have an anklet. Kiwi doesn't have like the little brace on her foot, so I don't really worry too much about that, but they can get caught if you don't take them regularly to get their nails trimmed. So you need to be careful with that also. But I have the large one here. I have the medium one here. And then I have small ones in the back here, there. I hope you can see that. And I have links for those down below also if you guys are interested in those. I personally really like them. A lot of people, though, have what they call natural purchase, which are these that I have on her play stand here. And these I just got at a local bird show, and they're anywhere between $2 to $6 depending on the wood, how long it is, how thick it is. So you guys can, that's a good option too if you want to put those in the bird's cage. Okay, so that's that. Next is toys. Like I said earlier in the video, birds are super active. They forage for food. They need something to keep them entertained. They get bored, they can get depressed, they can start plucking their feathers. They can become kind of aggressive towards you also. So toys is amazing, and you can find things that aren't really considered bird toys around, but you want to make sure that it's safe. This specific net that I got, I did buy it, and I do sell them now in my shop. Not quite like this, but I do make some, and I'll have the link down to my Etsy shop down below too, where I make and sell bird toys. And a lot of the toys that Kiwi herself loves, I've sold them on my Etsy shop, and I've gotten pretty good reviews on feedback on those. So if you guys are interested, I'll have that down below also. But you want to make sure that whatever it is you do get is bird safe. Depending on, like, you don't want anything that's painted unless it's dyed, because that can be toxic. I buy these little baby rings at a baby store, and I use those a lot for like her toys, to hang stuff from, for her to play with. She climbs up and down those things. So yeah, you want to make sure you have that. Some of the toys that Kiwi loves are wooden toys, shreddable toys. A lot of the toys with leather on them she likes. I make a lot of her toys. I have this down there, and that is just full of toys and toy parts and different things like that. And the good thing about birds is they'll destroy most of the toy, but you can take it apart and make new toys. So you can always like kind of like recycle your things. And obviously this is my opinion. This is what I've gone through with Kiwi the past 2 years. This is not the end all be all, and you know, somebody else might not have the same views as me. But I try to be as bird safe, and I don't want anything to harm her. Obviously she's a part of my family. So I try my best to keep her safe. She loves this toy. Anyway, oh, and I also sell that one on my Etsy shop if you guys are interested. Minus the ball. I just add that because she really likes the ball. But you can add any toy you want to that. Okay. So toys are very important. Toys can get really expensive. I try to buy her toys when they go on sale. There's a few websites that I really like, and I'll have those linked down below too. It's mysafebirdstore.com, which has really good prices, but the shipping can be a little much sometimes. So I usually try to wait and place big orders. Dr. Foster and Smith has some good toys. Your local, if you live somewhere where they have bird shows, I usually save up money and wait for the local bird expo here in South Florida, and I just go crazy when I go there. But I mean, pet stores have them, and I know a lot of people have a lot of problems, I've noticed, because on Kiwi's Instagram, a lot of people ask me where I get her toys and stuff like that. And a lot of the places, people that I've talked to on Instagram say that they don't really have that many options with it where they live. So, you know, online might be the best bet for some people. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is having your bird out of cage time. It's not really good for them, and it's not very humane in my opinion to have a bird locked up all day and never come out. Kiwi is locked up most of the day when we're at work. Once we get home, she's out and she is free to fly around, play in her cage, play on her play stand, which if you guys have any questions on the play stand, me and my husband did make it, and I have a video on how we did that, link down below, with also an updated on how I updated the perch, the play stand, I'm sorry, with natural perches. So I'll have that link also down below. But Kiwi is very active, as you can see, and so she flies if me, you know, she can fly to me if I'm in another room. She can fly to my husband. She can hang out with us, watch TV. The only time that she gets locked up when we're home is when we are going to cook, because, you know, it's dangerous when we're cleaning, because obviously, you know, we don't want her getting into anything that, you know, it's dangerous for her. And usually when there's people over, just because she's not very sociable with other people. She only likes me, my husband, and my brother. Anybody else who tries to touch her, she generally bites them. Okay. So when people come over, I try to lock her up, because first of all, people aren't used to flighted birds in a household. They're not really careful with the door. They can leave the toilet seat up, and she's pretty good about, she knows where to land in each room, like a safe spot for her to land. But, you know, you never know. Somebody can open the door and she can fly out, and somebody's not paying attention, or they can close the door on her, which I've heard also has happened before. So that's the only time that she's locked up. Otherwise, she's out with us. You know, like I said, she's part of our family. She hangs out with us, watches TV with us. If it's really late at night and we're still downstairs watching TV, she'll actually fall asleep on us. So she's out whenever we are home. I don't like to keep her locked up. She can be a handful. She is really young, and she does love to play, as you guys have been able to see in the video. So she's very active, and it could get sometimes a little much. But you have to realize that that's the commitment that you decide to take on when you decided to get a bird and add a bird to your household. Okay. Next thing is food. Before I got Kiwi, I assumed that all birds ate seeds. That's all I've ever known. But actually, seeds are really bad for them. They're supposed to be on 20% seeds and 80% pellets, which are just food that Here, I'll show you. It's just food that's like this, and hers has like dried fruits and vegetables in it. But those are pellets, and I give her Rowdy Bush, and I have a video, I believe, a little bit more detailed on her food and stuff like that. Another thing is fresh fruits and vegetables. Kiwi is not the best fresh fruits and vegetables type. She prefers dried fruits and vegetables. But she does like corn, and I'm trying to get her to eat more stuff, and she's eating a lot of the dried fruits and vegetables in her treats and in her food. So you want to make sure that you don't want to give them too much table food. Obviously vegetables, you can give them grain like rice. They can eat cheese. There's a whole list of stuff. If you can Google bird safe stuff. The only thing that they cannot have, and it's very toxic to them, is avocados and chocolate. You don't want to give them that kind of stuff because it could kill them. So that's the only thing you have to be kind of careful about. Anything else with food, if you guys have any specific questions, you guys can just leave a comment down below. All right. The next thing is mess. Birds are messy. I clean Kiwi's area once a week on the weekends usually. And this is 1 week's worth of mess. And Kiwi is generally pretty clean compared to most birds that I know. But sorry, this is 1 week's worth of mess, which isn't too bad. In like the grand scheme of things, that's inside of her cage, and I gave her a shreddable ball, so she got really excited about that. So that's pretty much as messy as her cage gets, just because I do clean it once a week. If you wait longer, obviously it's going to be a little bit messier, and I vacuum and everything around her cage also once a week. I do have this rug here that you guys see, and that's just to protect my own rug from you know, her pooping and stuff, so she's out so much. And then on the bottom of her play stand, I do have like paper towels and stuff, just so it's easy cleanup. So that's that. I'm pretty sure that I covered like the basic stuff. I can't think of anything else that's like super important. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that I'm probably missing, but for the most part, you know, you want to make sure that you have like the essentials, that you're prepared, that you've done your research. Birds live for a very long time. It's a long time commitment. There's a lot of birds that need homes that, you know, are abandoned. A lot of people do get rid of birds. They say within the 1 to 2 year range. They don't realize how much work they are, how much attention they actually need, how loud they could be, how messy they could be, how costly they can be. Birds need to go to the vet, just like a dog, like a cat. And, you know, the vet could be pretty pricey. If I take Kiwi to the vet for her normal, you know, annual checkup, it costs, I think, $200. When I take her to get her nails trimmed, just because I'm too scared to do it. But I mean, if you can do it, you save yourself money. It cost me $10 to get her nails trimmed. And obviously she doesn't get her wings clipped because, you know, I choose not to. But they could be very costly. Like I said, you do need to take them to the vet. So you need to make sure that you find a vet around you. And you also, I am, I wouldn't say an advocate, but I do believe in rehoming, adopting a bird from a rescue if there's one available next to you. If you don't know a lot about birds, it could be a little bit more work, just because usually they've been abused, or, you know, they've been in bad situations. So it takes a little bit more time, but, you know, they could be, you know, very cuddly, very sweet. Usually the rescues are really good about helping you out and giving you advice and stuff like that. There's also a lot of online. I know that there's a guy named, his YouTube handle, I think it's called Parrot Wizard. He has books that I've heard are amazing to help with, you know, dealing with a bird. He also has a YouTube, and I'll try to have his links down below also. But there's a lot of help out there. if you have the time to spend and work on the bird, then, you know, rehoming a bird, adopting a bird is amazing. And obviously you can also buy them from breeders or get them from the pet store. But I would do the research and really look into adopting. But adopting is not for everybody. So, you know, do the research, find out, see, you know, what your family dynamic is like, and if you guys are able to. If not, then, you know, obviously make sure that if you're doing it from a breeder, that it's a good breeder, that you do research on the breeder, that the breeder is actually taking care of the birds the way they're supposed to, that they're taking care of the parents the way they're supposed to. So just make sure, no matter where you're getting your bird, that you do your research. That's super important. And if you guys have any further questions, please just leave me a comment down below. You guys can message me or email me, and I'll have all that information down below also. Kiwi does have an Instagram, and I'll have her Instagram also listed down below. And I post different things about her, her food, her new toys that I make. I also give discounts for my Etsy shop on her Instagram. So I really hope you guys enjoy this video, and I hope that it was informative in some way. I am not an expert by any means, so don't take what I say word for word. Obviously, always do your own research. And like I said, there's a lot of different opinions on how birds should be raised or handled within a household. So, you know, do your research. Don't take my word for it. There's a lot of stuff out there. There's bird forums. There's stuff on YouTube, Instagram. There's a lot of bird, you know, parents out there that can help and have different views on stuff. So go ahead and check that out also. And thank you so much for watching.